Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to install PureOS 10.3 codenamed Byzantium on a ThinkPad X220, and we won't be installing the default GNOME desktop environment. Instead, we'll be using the KDE Plasma desktop environment. First, let's talk about the hardware. The ThinkPad X220 is an excellent small laptop. It was released by Lenovo in 2011, and although it's now over a decade old, it remains a superb Linux laptop. Its hardware is well established, with near-perfect Linux support. The screen features a 12.5-inch IPS panel, which was excellent for its time. It is powered by a second-generation Intel Core i5 or i7 processor based on the Sandy Bridge architecture, and can be upgraded to 16 GB of RAM. My unit comes with 8 GB. In my view, its keyboard is one of the best on any laptop, without a doubt. But why choose PureOS? There are hundreds, if not thousands, of Linux distributions on the market. PureOS stands out from the crowd. It is a Debian-based GNU Linux distribution developed by Purism, the company behind the Librem laptops and the Librem 5 mobile phone. By default, it uses only free and open source software. More importantly, it has been recognized by the FSF, the Free Software Foundation, as a fully free distribution. This means that PureOS not only includes open source software, but also strictly adheres to ethical guidelines. It absolutely contains no proprietary binaries. Version 10.3 Byzantium is based on Debian 11 Bullseye. It is a stable and well-maintained system. It is worth noting that the official PureOS release comes with the GNOME desktop environment by default. The KDE Plasma version, or KDE derivative, is not the main release, but it can certainly be installed, and some believe it is actually better suited to older hardware, as it offers greater control over which programs run and when. This is a real device, a real setup, and real-world usage. This is a complete live installation and exploration video. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Right then, let's get started. Before we begin the installation, let's make sure we have everything we need. Think of this as our pre-flight checklist. Firstly, your ThinkPad X220. Ensure it is fully charged, or ideally keep it plugged in throughout the process. Secondly, a USB drive with at least 8 GB of storage. This will serve as our installation medium. Thirdly, a reliable internet connection. We'll need this to download the PureOS ISO file. Fourth, download the PureOS ISO on another computer and create a bootable USB drive. Finally, if you have any important data on your ThinkPad X220's hard drive, please back it up immediately. Once you have all these items ready, we can move on to the next step. The first step is to obtain the PureOS ISO file. For this step, you will need a working computer with an internet connection. Open your web browser, search for PureOS on Google, and visit the official PureOS website. At the top of the homepage, you will see a navigation bar. Click on Download. On the PureOS download page, the GNOME version is provided by default. We need to look for the KDE Plasma version under More Flavors. Once you click on KDE Plasma, the PureOS image file will begin downloading automatically. The ISO file is approximately 2 GB in size, so please be patient. Whilst it is downloading, you might want to have a cup of coffee or check the BIOS settings on your ThinkPad X220. Once downloaded, it is advisable to verify the integrity of the ISO file using an MD5 or SHA-256 checksum. This ensures the file has not been corrupted during the download. Instructions for this are usually provided alongside the PureOS download link. Next, we will convert the PureOS ISO file into a bootable USB drive. We will use a tool called Balena Etcher to write the ISO file to the USB drive. Balena Etcher is a free, open-source program that supports Windows, macOS, and Linux. It is arguably the simplest way to create a bootable Linux USB drive, and I recommend it to anyone who is not familiar with command line tools. Please download and install Etcher on your current computer. Once you have downloaded the PureOS ISO file and installed Etcher, insert your USB drive. When you open Etcher, the interface is very straightforward. 3 steps will be displayed on the screen. Step 1. Flash from file. Click this button, navigate to the location where you saved the PureOS ISO file and select it. Step 2. Select Target. Insert the USB drive into your computer, then click Select Target. Etcher will display the available drives. Be very careful to select your USB drive and not any other drive. Etcher helpfully labels the drives, showing their capacity and name, which helps to avoid selecting the wrong one. However, you should still check carefully. Step 3. Flash. Once you have confirmed the ISO file and the target drive, click the Flash button. Etcher will ask you to enter administrator or sudo credentials. This is normal, as writing to the drive requires higher privileges. Enter your password and confirm. This process may take a few minutes, depending on the speed of your USB drive. You will see a progress bar. Do not remove the USB drive or close the Etcher program whilst this is in progress. Once the flashing is complete, Etcher will automatically run a verification step, reading the contents it has just written to ensure they match the source file. This serves as another effective integrity check. Upon completion, you will receive a confirmation message. Do not format the USB drive once this is finished. Simply eject it safely. Once the PureOS bootable USB drive has been created, we insert it into the ThinkPad X220. Switch on the ThinkPad X220, then immediately press the F1 key repeatedly to enter the BIOS utility settings. In the BIOS, use the right arrow key to navigate to the Startup tab. First, press the F9 key to restore the default settings. Then press Enter to confirm. Next, we set the UEFI Legacy Boot option to UNTFI only. Finally, we press the F10 key to save and exit. Then press Enter to confirm. The ThinkPad X220 will now restart. When the ThinkPad boot screen appears again, we press the F12 key to enter the boot menu. In the boot menu, we select to boot from the USB HDD and press Enter to confirm the selection. We have now reached the PureOS Gun Grub menu. Here we can see several options, but for a smooth standard installation on older hardware, the default option is usually the best choice. So the first option, PureOS Live, is the one we want. Select it and press Enter to confirm your choice. Our ThinkPad X220 laptop will boot the fully featured PureOS Live desktop directly from the USB drive. It runs entirely from the USB drive without touching our internal hard drive. Even on older hardware like the ThinkPad X220, PureOS boots up quite quickly. It took less than 40 seconds. We were then greeted by PureOS's attractive KDE Plasma Live desktop. This PureOS Live desktop is very clean. It uses a light-colored theme, which looks quite elegant. The wallpaper is simple and tasteful. There are very few distracting elements. The desktop layout is also quite traditional. The bottom panel contains the taskbar, system tray, and application launcher. Within this PureOS Live desktop environment, you can test whether all the hardware on your ThinkPad X220 is functioning correctly. For example, Wi-Fi, audio, the touchpad, keyboard, and USB ports. This is your chance to identify any compatibility issues before proceeding with the installation. You can also use the live environment to access your existing drives. If you haven't wiped the data yet, you can copy any files you need, although you should have already backed them up. Within the PureOS Live desktop, you can also test or try out the operating system's various features. All of this ensures that PureOS is compatible with your ThinkPad X220's hardware before installation. If the tests are successful, we can begin the installation. On the PureOS Live desktop, you will see an icon labeled Install PureOS. Double-click it to launch the installer. The PureOS installer is based on the Calamares framework, a graphical installer that is very user-friendly and used by many Linux distributions. It will guide us step by step through the entire installation process. Step 1. Set your preferred language. Usually the default is your preferred language, but you can scroll through the list and select any language you prefer. Here, I have chosen US English. Click Next to continue. Step 2. Set your location. Click on your region on the map, or select your continent from the drop-down menu. Then choose your city or region. This will set your location and time zone, ensuring your clock is always accurate. Click Next to continue. Step 3. Set your keyboard layout. You can also test your keyboard layout in the text box provided. Here, I have selected the US English keyboard layout, so unless you use a different layout, please select this one. Click Next to continue. Step 4. Partitioning. This is the most crucial step. For most users, particularly if you wish to make PureOS your sole operating system, or if you are prepared to erase everything on your ThinkPad X220's hard drive, select Erase Disk. This is the simplest option and is strongly recommended for most users installing PureOS as their sole operating system. It will erase your entire hard drive and automatically create the necessary partitions. If you choose this option, please ensure you have backed up your data. Kink Next to continue. Step 5. Duplicate your user account. Enter your name, username, computer name, and password. You can also choose to log in automatically or require a password to log in. Be sure to remember your password, as you will need it to log into the system and perform administrative tasks in future. Click Next to continue. Step 6. Review your installation summary. The installer now displays a complete summary of all the actions that are about to be performed, including your language, time zone, keyboard layout, partition scheme, and user details. Please read this carefully. If there are any errors, use the back button to correct them. If you are satisfied with everything, click Install. The installer reminds you that the PureOS installer is about to make changes to your disk in order to install PureOS. These changes cannot be undone. Click Install now to continue. Step 7. The system begins installation. During this time, the installer will copy files, install the system, and configure everything. The installer will copy files from the USB drive to the hard drive, install the bootloader, and configure the system. On this ThinkPad X220 laptop, the PureOS installation process actually took about 2 minutes. During this time, you will see a progress bar and various messages explaining what is happening at each stage, as well as a PureOS slideshow. You do not need to do anything at this stage. Step 8. Installation complete. The installer informs us that PureOS has been installed. We can now choose to reboot into the new system, or continue using the PureOS live environment. Now, click Done to restart the computer and apply the new operating system. Once the screen goes black during the restart, you must remove the USB installation media. This is crucial to ensure your ThinkPad X220 does not attempt to boot from the USB drive again. Right then, our ThinkPad X220 has been given a fresh new look, running PureOS 10.3 Byzantium and the KDE Plasma desktop. The first thing you'll notice is its clean, modern interface. KDE Plasma 5, included in Byzantium, offers a highly polished and intuitive out-of-the-box experience. At the bottom is the control panel. In the bottom left corner is the application launcher, commonly known as the K menu or Start menu, and in the bottom right corner are the system tray icons. This layout is both familiar and efficient for many users. PureOS is based on Debian, so it benefits from a vast and well-maintained software ecosystem. KDE Plasma provides a graphical software center called Discover. We can find it in the application launcher. Discover offers a user-friendly interface that makes it easy to browse, install, and update applications. It categorizes software, displays screenshots, and often provides user reviews, allowing you to find the software you need with ease. Importantly, Discover in PureOS only displays applications from the official PureOS software repositories. As we discussed earlier, the software in these repositories is entirely free and open source. For users who prefer the command line or require more advanced package management, the apt utility is your best option. Open Console, KDE's terminal emulator, and you can manage software using simple commands. For example, to update the package list and upgrade all installed software, you can use sudo apt update 10 sudo apt upgrade dods. To install a new application, use sudo apt install package name. This method offers fine-grained control and is generally faster for bulk operations. It is worth noting that PureOS's software repositories have been carefully curated to ensure software freedom, meaning you will not find proprietary drivers or applications here. This is a deliberate choice that reinforces the core philosophy of the distribution. For a freshly installed Linux system, the first thing we should do is ensure that the system is fully updated. Although the PureOS ISO is up to date, there are always new security patches and software updates available. Updating the system ensures that we have all the latest security patches and software, and is a crucial first step in ensuring security and stability. Right, our system is now fully updated. The next thing we need to do is restart the computer so that the updates we've installed take effect. Now let's talk about the essential everyday applications. PureOS comes pre-installed with a powerful set of tools to help you get started quickly. For web browsing, you can use Firefox ESR, which is a privacy-enhanced version of Firefox. It is fast, secure, and reliable, and respects your digital rights. For office work, LibreOffice is the industry standard in the Linux world, offering a comprehensive office suite that includes word processing, spreadsheets, and presentation software, and is fully compatible with Microsoft Office formats. For media playback, VLC Media Player is usually pre-installed, capable of handling almost any audio or video format. Combined with the powerful capabilities of KDE Plasma, these applications make the X220 a computer perfectly suited to everyday tasks, from document editing and web browsing to email and media playback. As for the performance of this Sandy Bridge-powered X220, whilst it is by no means a modern gaming machine, it performs exceptionally well running PureOS and the KDE Plasma system. Plasma's lightweight nature, coupled with Linux's efficiency, makes for an incredibly smooth daily desktop experience. You'll find that web browsing remains responsive even with multiple tabs open, and Office applications launch quickly. For more demanding tasks such as video editing or large-scale graphic design, you may notice the hardware's age, but as a reliable and secure everyday workhorse, it performs exceptionally well. The previous SSD upgrade plays a crucial role here, significantly reducing load times and improving the system's overall responsiveness. So, after using it for a while, what are my honest thoughts? To be honest, I like it more than I expected. PureOS 10.3 Byzantium, paired with KDE Plasma, works surprisingly well on the ThinkPad X220. It's not flawless, nor is it perfectly smooth, but it certainly works well together. The desktop is responsive, the system runs stably, and the machine retains the practicality that the ThinkPad series has always been known for. Perhaps most importantly, using it feels meaningful. There are almost no instances of accidental misoperation. You sit down, open the laptop, type, work, think. No endless notifications, no algorithmic interruptions popping up every 30 seconds, and no flashy ecosystem trying to profit from your behavior. It is simply a computer. Perhaps this simplicity is, in itself, a form of disruption. Clearly, this setup is not for everyone. Many people simply need modern hardware. That is the reality. But I believe that countless fully functional computers are discarded unnecessarily. Not because they have stopped working, but because society and culture deem them obsolete. Linux, particularly on machines like the X220, challenges this assumption, and PureOS adds another layer to that challenge. It poses the question, can computing remain ethical, transparent, and under user control? Even today, even in this era dominated by cloud computing and algorithmic ecosystems. To be honest, I don't know if projects like PureOS represent the future. Perhaps they represent a form of resistance, a small act of defiance, a refusal to accept that computers must become closed, monitored, disposable devices. This defiance is admirable, especially when experienced on a machine like the ThinkPad X220, a laptop from another era, still running today, still useful, still quietly, unyieldingly enduring. In any case, this is the PureOS 10.3 Byzantium KDE Plasma system running on a ThinkPad X220. If you have an old ThinkPad gathering dust in a storeroom, perhaps this is the sign you need to breathe new life into it. not because its performance will surpass that of modern hardware, nor because it's trendy, but because sometimes breathing new life into old things can change the way we view technology itself. Perhaps we need more of that. Right then. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.